Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video I am going to be doing my 1 year review of using this Kalenji HR 500 watch from Decathlon. So I'll be splitting this review into few parts so that I get a comprehensive coverage of everything. So I've noted it down here. So I'll be speaking about the battery life and charging, then the screen and strap, and then HR sensor, Bluetooth connectivity of this watch, and then other features and whether I recommend it or not. So first thing we'll look at is the battery life of this watch and its charging system. So on the back we have these two charging pins here, which these two pins sit on, and it's a standard USB. So you can use your standard mobile charger by using this cable and charge this watch. Charging time is it actually charges very fast. If you start from say 0%, it should be reaching 50 to 60% within half an hour's time, and I've never seen it actually go to 100% charge. It always stops at around 99% and doesn't charge beyond that. If you already have 30 to 40% charge and you plug it in, within 10 minutes it will have gone to like 70-75%, which is very good. It actually charges fast. So let me switch it on now. So you hold that button and it goes to start. So this is the time, and it has got a state of charge indicator, so it's 55% right now. And the battery life is actually very good for me. I use this watch only for recording my activities and not as a regular watch. So battery life is very good for me. I can use it like almost more than 2 weeks if I charge it once. I use it for about 45 minutes to 1.5 hours a day, depending on how much activity is done. So it lasts around 2 weeks easily for me. The longest use that I've done single use is when I did my longest bicycle ride recently. That was around 115 kilometers. So for 115 kilometers, we started at 5:30 a.m. and returned home by 3 p.m. So it still had more than 50% charge by then. Not more than 50, it still had even more. So it had not consumed much battery even though it was used for such a long time. And the next thing is about the screen and its readability. So if you look at this is not exactly a standard LCD screen like you find on a watch. So this is a standard LCD screen versus this. You can notice the clear difference that's there. They both are not the same. This is slightly a different version. It's got I don't know, maybe a trans reflective or whatever they call that as. If you look at it in person you'll know it better. And its readability in daylight is absolutely fantastic. There is no issue with sunlight or anything like that. You can just see that it looks like a standard watch, digital watch. So its readability is very good, and unlike phone screens and other smartwatch screens, this does not have any display issue in bright daylight as well. The next thing we would look at is the strap. So unlike many brands which use their proprietary straps and products, this is a very standard strap. It's got a straight needle that goes through and connects it. So it's very easy to find replacements for this as well. This is made of soft rubber, doesn't hurt or irritate your skin when it's on, and it's also very easily replaceable. I think Decathlon also stocks these straps, and in case you don't find it there, you should be able to buy it from outside as well. Now we will contrast that with the strap of this watch. This is another watch that I have, Q&Q. Look at this. The strap is proprietary and it's made specifically for this watch. So in case the company stops making this model or they don't have stock of this strap, it's going to be very difficult to source these straps, but this one you can source it a lot more easier. Now we'll look at the HR sensor and its accuracy. So this is a This is the HR sensor of this watch here. I'm not sure which exact brand sensor they're using, but it's very accurate as far as my experience goes. So how I'll be wearing it is like this. I'll be wearing it on my wrist in this way when I'm riding, because I ride a drop bar bike now, and if I'm running it will be on my wrist like this. So as long as this watch is pressed against your skin firmly, the sensor is very accurate. If it is loose and moving around like this, then this optical light, whatever light that it sends, it cannot record the signals properly. Look at this. So this particular light, whatever it throws onto your skin, it gauges and it gets a reading. So if it is not in contact with your skin, it does not get a proper reading. So it's showing it's around 75 beats per minute right now, 75, 76, 77. So that is the present beats per minute, and it's pretty accurate as long as it's properly pressed against the skin. The only time when I found it inaccurate is, for example, when there is a sudden change in rhythm. So you are moving slowly and then you start suddenly jumping around, or suddenly start accelerating on your bike or anything like that. When there is a sudden change in rhythm, the blood takes some time to reach your wrist, so the reading will not immediately reflect whatever is happening actual with your heart. So that's a small delay which is going to be there with all the wrist based heart monitors. And next we'll look at the Bluetooth connectivity of this watch with the Strava and Decathlon app. So this play button here, so the Bluetooth is on and it's started the HR sensor here. So let me wear that and show it to you. So now I've worn the watch here and I've connected it to Bluetooth with my phone here. So if you see, it's clearly displaying whatever is the heartbeat that's coming up right now. This is on Strava, and now I'll be showing that on Decathlon Coach app as well. Okay, so now I'll be showing it on Decathlon sensor. So this is my HR sensor. It's showing 87 beats, 86. So it's connected, and in case I start an activity, this will get recorded and it will show the zones as well. And there's one more important thing when you are using Bluetooth, and that is you need to give permission for these things to use your whatever heart rate and other health data. The same thing is on Strava as well. Let me show that to you. Okay, now I'm on Strava. You need to come to settings, and in that data permissions, and you need to set this to allowed. If you decline it, then the HR sensor will not get connected on Strava. So you need to give the permission, and once it is allowed, it will start taking the reading from this Bluetooth device and take it on Strava. Now I'll show you some of the records that are already there. Okay, so this is one of my rides that was done about 2 days back, few days back actually, and you can see that it displays a HR graph, average 133, max heart rate 183, and this data was taken from this watch itself. So it will feed data, and then you can see your heart rate data. And heart rate zone, it's on subscription only for Strava, but in Decathlon app it is on free basis, so you can see your zones. You can take this GPX file, put it on Decathlon Coach app, and there you can see the zones as well. So that's about the Bluetooth aspects of this watch. And now let me show you some of the other features and my recommendation of this watch. So now let me show you some of the other things that are there. It has a history of many sessions. I'm not exactly sure how many sessions, so let me select one of them. So this is a 2-hour 20-minute session on 31st of May. You go in, this is the average heartbeat, this is the calories burned, and then you can delete it if you want to. and then you have settings where you can switch on Bluetooth or whatever and things like that. Activity related, user related. In user related, you will set your personal settings, that is your weight, your height, and your maximum heart rate that you have determined, and what is your resting heart rate. So those are the values which you will have to feed it at the beginning, so that this watch can identify the calories burned and also your zones as well. And what about its recommendation, whether I'll say it's a good buy or not? The watch cost me 5000 rupees when I bought it last year, and it still costs the same, except for the fact that it's priced a little higher than what it could be. The watch is actually fantastic value. You can use this instead of a HR belt. So if you use a heart rate belt, that costs around the same 3 to 5000 rupee mark, and that you cannot have a reading. You always need to carry your phone along if you want to view your HR. But on this, there is a continuous display of your heart rate, and unlike many smartwatches, which keep the screen off to save battery or anything, this will always have its screen on. So you will get the continuous heart rate display, and as long as your rhythm is more or less the same, the heart rate is also very accurate. But only thing is, if you're doing high intensity workouts on things like that, then you will have to use a HR belt, because that will be closer to your heart and pick up the heartbeats better. So except for the pricing, everything else is absolutely fantastic on this watch. Probably if it was priced about 1000 rupees lower, then it would have been great value for money. So that's it for this comprehensive video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you can make your decision on whether you want to buy this watch or not. It's a fantastic watch, but price is a little bit higher if you are going to buy it from the store right now. So that's it. Thanks for watching.